Pokémon GO Hoenn Tour has wrapped up in Las Vegas, and it was epic. Now it's the world's turn as we approach the global Hoenn Tour event happening this weekend. The Pokémon GO Tour events have been some of the best and most fun events over the years ever. But this year, it'll be a little different. Today we'll talk about why, what to expect, and exactly how to prepare for this epic Generation 3 event. For starters, dates, times, and prices. The Global Hoenn Tour will be happening on Saturday, February 25th and Sunday, February 26th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. local time. This is a 2-day, 16-hour event. And for the first time ever, it's free! Yes, this year's tour event is completely free to play for everyone in the world. But if you want the brand new Shiny Mythical Shiny Jirachi, you are gonna have to pay for it. Shiny Jirachi is unlocked by completing the Masterwork research, and this year you've got to pay $5 USD to get it. And if you went to Las Vegas like myself and received the Masterwork research, you will not be able to receive a second one, so there's nothing for us to do here. So, free event, paid Shiny Mythical. And why is this global event all of a sudden free? Because for the first time ever, there was an in-person paid tour event this year which happened in Las Vegas, and honestly was pretty great overall. Las Vegas also apparently got boosted shiny odds compared to what we're gonna see during the global event. Also, I'm doing a Rayquaza raids on the side for the 100 Rayquaza raid challenge. Subscribe for this video happening this weekend. So although yes, the Hoenn Tour event is free, the shiny luck will most likely not be as good as it was in past tour events. Manage your expectations a bit for this weekend. For example, over the Las Vegas weekend, I caught roughly 34 shiny Pokemon, so we'll see how the rates are for this weekend. Now, this does not take away from all the cool features that we're gonna have this weekend during the global event, including habitat spawns, shiny unknowns, special eggs and raids, and more. So let's crack into exactly what to expect for event gameplay. For starters, how to best get ready for the event before it starts. Your Pokemon storage. For this event, Pokemon storage has been increased to 6,250 overall, so if you need to buy more space, it should be available for you. General rule of thumb here, it's best to have somewhere between 200 to 500 free spaces available in your Pokemon inventory. This is so that you could save good Pokemon like Beldum or regionals like Relicanth for trades, and you won't have to stop and transfer Pokemon every like 10 minutes. Item storage also saw an increase going up to 5,250, and you definitely want to stack up on one thing: balls. I'd recommend going into this weekend having somewhere around 300 Pokeballs, 200 Great Balls, and 100 Ultra Balls. Pokeballs for quick catching and auto catching, Great Balls for quick catching, and Ultra Balls for the shinies. Also helpful to have like a good spot to play in mind: portable chargers, waters, Pokecoins already loaded up on your account assuming you want to spend this weekend, and it's important to decide on your target Pokemon, the ones you want most from this weekend. These Pokemon will dictate exactly how you play throughout the weekend event, so it's important to identify them. For example, let's say you really want shiny Kecleon, but you also want a lot of primal Kyogre energy. Day 1, you can focus on hunting Kecleon encounters, and day 2, you can focus more on the raids. So let's go over what to expect from the gameplay during this event so you can adequately prepare and strategize. Starting with the spawns. Like the past 2 tour events, there will be all Gen 3 spawns spawning in themed habitats. Although Pokemon Go has yet to announce how exactly these spawns are gonna work globally. Dropping the ball a bit there, Pokemon Go. But from what we've seen in past tour events, each habitat will most likely have 2 hours of gameplay in 2 different 1-hour windows throughout the day. For example, Habitat A spawns will be from 10 to 11 a.m. and from 2 to 3 p.m. And speaking of the habitats, here they are and what to expect from each. Starting with the Blistering Sands. This was one of my least hunted habitats during the Las Vegas Hoenn Tour, but it does have some great spawns. They include Torchic, Poochyena, Lotad, Nincada, Makuhita, Nosepass, Aeron, Cacnea, Numel, Baltoy, and Bagon. Out of these, the new shinies include Cacnea and its evolution Cacturn, and the most meta-relevant Pokemon to hunt in this habitat include Torchic. Its evolution Blaziken has a Mega Form that is currently the #1 fighting type and a top fire type. Aeron. Its evolution Aggron has a Mega that's a top steel type Pokemon. And Bagon. Its evolution Salamence is an absolute monster in Pokemon Go. As a Shadow, it's the #1 non-Mega Dragon type, and as a Mega, it's the #1 overall Dragon type. Then we have the Eerie Mists habitat, which is one of my favorites. The spawns for this one includes Routes, Surskit, Whismur, Meditite, Spoink, Zangoose, Seviper, Chimecho, Absol, Snorunt, Luvdisc, and Beldum. New shinies in the habitat include Surskit and Masquerain. Wild regionals in this habitat include Zangoose and Seviper, which are great targets, especially the one that is not naturally spawning in your region. And the most meta-relevant Pokemon include Routes. Its evolution Gardevoir has a Mega that is currently the #1 fairy type. Meditite. Its evolution Medicham is ranked 4th in the Great League. Chimecho. Chimecho gives 1,000 base Stardust per catch. If you need Stardust like myself, This is a great Pokemon to catch, and it's got a great and really rare shiny. Absol has a Mega form that is a current top Dark type. Snorunt's evolution Glalie has a Mega that's the #1 Ice type, and Beldum is probably one of the most, if not the most meta-relevant spawns in the entire event. Its evolution Metagross is a top Steel type and will eventually get a Mega form that will be the top Steel type. And it actually does have a Shadow form that is currently the top Steel type that you can get right now in Pokemon Go by encountering team leader Sierra. And I got lucky enough to get the Shadow Hundo, but I do not have nearly enough XL candies to max it out at level 50, so I will definitely be grinding bag on spawns during this habitat, and I will definitely have a max level Mega Steel type down during these hours. Now on over to another favorite habitat of mine, the Verdant Earth. This habitat will spawn Trico, Zigzagoon, Wurmple, Seedot, Shroomish, Slackoth, Skitty, Mawile, Electrike, Roselia, Gulpin, and Swablu. New shinies here include Gulpin and its evolution Swalot, and the most meta-relevant Pokemon spawning here include Trico. Its evolution Sceptile has a Mega, which is the current #1 grass type overall. Swablu. Altaria is a PvP monster, ranking 11th in the Great League and 88th in the Ultra League. And that's it. This isn't really the most meta-relevant habitat, but it does have some fun shiny hunts. Then we finally have the Ancient Shores habitat, which was actually the one I spent the least amount hunting during the Las Vegas event, but I really wish I hunted it more, because the spawns are honestly great, and they include Mudkip, Talo, Wingull, Carvana, Barboach, Corphish, Laleep, Anorith, Phoebus, Spheal, and Clamperl. And although there are no brand new shinies in this habitat, there are some newer ones like Corphish, and the meta-relevant spawns include Mudkip, which is definitely one of the most meta-relevant spawns in this entire event, because its evolution Swampert is a beast that has a Shadow and a Mega, with the Mega ranking as the #1 overall Water type, and the Shadow ranking 6th. Plus Swampert is just a king in PvP, ranking 5th and 6th in the Great League, 9th and 14th in the Ultra League, and 34th and 48th in the Masters League. Then Spheal. Its evolution Walrein ranks pretty good in all 3 leagues as well. And again, we still have no idea how exactly these Pokemon are going to spawn or these habitats are going to work during the event, which really honestly impacts preparation and strategy for the day, so hopefully they get that information out soon. And if they do, I will be tweeting it out when it happens, so make sure to follow me on Twitter for the most up-to-date latest news on this event and all events in the future. And another spawn category that we have no idea what is happening with is the Incense. What's spawning on it? That also has not been announced for the global tour, which is super duper weird. But if it's similar to the Vegas event, which I assume it will be the primary way to encounter Unknown. The Unknown spawning will be Hoenn for Hoenn, with H Unknown being the newest shiny release. And still within the realm of spawns, there will also be Primal Surges that will happen throughout the event and give extra spawns. Basically how this works is each hour there's a competition between the 2 versions, Ruby and Sapphire. Extra spawns will happen depending on which team won that hour. If Groudon or Ruby wins, the spawns will be Plusle, Volbeat, Trapinch, Solrock, and Sunny Castform, all of which can be shiny, all of which are pretty rare, especially Castform, Volbeat, and Solrock. Then if Kyogre and Sapphire wins, the spawns will be Minun, Illumise, Wailmer, Lunatone, and Rainy Castform. Again, some very rare shinies, including Illumise, Lunatone, and Rainy Castform, with Rainy Castform being the most rare shiny of the Primal Surge spawns. And I did get one during the Hoenn Tour in Vegas, so I'm pretty hyped about that. And I'm pretty sure the version that you choose will not impact these spawns. You should be able to see all of them regardless of your team. And let's hope this is not shiny. It's not shiny, okay. And we also have 2 new costume Pikachu spawning during this event, which can be shiny and which will be very rare costume shinies in the future once this event is over. Looking for Kecleon? It's finally released in Pokemon Go and it can finally be shiny as a part of this event. Kecleon will be spawning throughout the event, and to find one, you basically have to look around to different Pokestops, and on some Pokestops, Kecleon will be there. It will look like kind of see-through or not, and all you have to do to get it is walk over to that Pokestop, tap on Kecleon, don't spin the stop, tap on Kecleon until it jumps off the stop, and then leave the Pokestop encounter and look around the stop, and Kecleon should be there somewhere. You tap on it, it's yours. Now, this is the shiny that most people did not get in Las Vegas. It was definitely one of the most rare ones of the event. So it's a good rare one to hunt, but I definitely wouldn't spend all of your time just hunting Kecleon. It's gonna be a really hard one to get overall. Speaking of the most rare shinies, the rarest hunts lie in the eggs. In the 2 kilometers, we have Pichu, Igglybuff, Trico, Torchic, Mudkip, Azurill, and Wynot. The 5 kilometers include the new shinies, Surskit, Gulpin, and Cacnea. 7 kilometers have some of the more meta-relevant Pokemon, including Trapinch, Phoebus, Bagon, and Beldum. And then the 10-kilometer eggs will be the most sought after out of the entire event, holding 3 brand new shiny regional Pokemon: Torkoal, Tropius, and Relicanth. Relicanth was by far the hardest shiny to get out of the entire event, and the hardest shiny to hatch out of all of the eggs. And there's actually some massive news for the eggs for this global Hoenn Tour. During the Vegas event, there was a bonus add-on that you could purchase that impacted your egg gameplay. It basically gave you a bunch of egg bonuses for $15. Well, since there were so many problems with the Vegas event, and specifically so many problems with the egg bonus add-on, everyone who's in Vegas who purchased this egg add-on will also get the bonuses during the global event. These bonuses include 1/4 hatch distance, 3 times hatch stardust, XP, and candy, and a higher chance of spinning a 10-kilometer egg from a stop. Since 10-kilometer eggs hold the most rare and sought-after shinies of the event, this is a massive advantage for players who joined the Las Vegas event and who will now be playing the global one. But that is unfortunately and literally the only way to receive this bonus. So if you attended Las Vegas and bought this, congratulations. Now, there are some other major features to look forward to as a part of this weekend event, including Latias and Latios spawning in the wild, and they can be shiny in the wild, but be warned, they're very hard to catch. All of the Deoxys forms in the Tier 5 raids, and Primal raids. Yes, the Hoenn Tour will feature the global release of Primal Pokemon, and there's a bit to know about them that we learned in Vegas. For starters, you will need 400 Primal Energy to Primal Evolve your Groudon or Kyogre for the first time, and unlike Mega raids, that 400 energy is really hard to come by. The maximum amount of energy you can get from a Groudon raid is 90, and from a Kyogre raid is 80, which means even if you're out there raiding and playing with a big group of people, it's gonna take you a lot of raids to get your Primal Groudon or Kyogre. I personally will probably be spending quite a bit of time on these Primal raids this weekend, mainly because I feel like the shiny rates are gonna be so low for the event, and who knows when the Primals are gonna come back. I'm probably gonna try to stack up on like a bit of energy. And also another thing we're unsure on is if remote raids will give Primal energy during the global event, because in Vegas, the only way to get Primal energy from completing Primal raids was by doing them in person. You could remote raid these raids, but you would not get Primal energy. That obviously can be different for the global event, but it's not announced. And don't forget the exclusive moves for Groudon and Kyogre. They're very important. Origin Pulse for Kyogre and Precipice Blade for Groudon. These moves make Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre the top Pokemon in their typing categories. So if you have a Hundo or a Shundo like myself, it's really important to elite TM these moves onto them during or after the weekend. And those are all the details and strategies we have for the Hoenn Tour event. Make sure to follow me on Twitter to find out about the other ones that are hopefully going to be announced before the event goes live. And if you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and check out the other videos on screen. Good luck during your Hoenn Tour event this weekend, my friends.